Hey, just wanted to say something quick up front here. Our hearts go out to the family, friends, and fans of Sydney-based artist and creator Titania Davidson, who passed away earlier this year. News of her passing only just hit the community this week and have left many of her peers heartbroken. Tatiana was known for being an amazing artist who also used grayscale and shading to create immense depth in her horror short stories. Her books could be described as almost dreamlike, and she was particularly amazing at drawing out suspense in stories about children and monsters. Tatiana's work can be still found online on Instagram at Mr. Splitfoot, if you'd like to take a look. And she leaves behind comics such as A Visit from Midnight Mummy, Unfellow, Cracks in the Walls, Coney's Best Cuts, and Blackfish. She will be sorely missed. Alrighty, on with the show. All right, you guys ready? Places, everybody.
ComX presents.
Alex, not yet. Lauren, what are you doing?
Making everything look sexy and chilling.
Duncan, it's nearly showtime. Can you put that down? What is that?
A really big squid.
Are you ready for drinking? Drawing? What about laughing? Well, hold on to your butts. It's the ComX Friday Night Drink and Draw. With your hosts Sizzle and Spedsy, and the man they call Quick, plus Australia's most attractive artists and creators, many of whom have books for sale at ComX.shop. Hey, Sizzle, what say we start the shizzle?
Kookaburras mock you. They're not cool.
Nah, I'm down with kookaburras.
Oh, all over the shop.
Hey, where am I? I'm over here. I'm over here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday Night's Drink and Draw by ComX. Brought to you by ComX. And so that really threw me.
It threw you over there.
Tonight, we bring together artists from all around Australia to draw pictures from certain characters, from a certain guest. And tonight's guest is none other than our usual host, Spedsy / Rob Lyle.
Yeah. The guy who makes it about himself made it about himself. What a surprise. Joining us on the show tonight, Quick Nick.
Hello, I'm a fan of Rob's work.
Book there, mate. Correct cover and all. Alex Major.
Hello, I am also a fan of Rob.
That guy. Nice Spedsy collection, Dave.
Yeah.
Johnny Globe. Mr. Black. It's Chris McCann. And, of course, Nick May. And Nick May. Mentor Neil Blandon's in the hizzy.
Hey!
Hello. I've been having a good time trying to connect to my interblogs.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah.
With some screaming, but we got there. All right. Well, so, this is kind of awkward. The guys have been asking me to do this for a while. Well, Alex in particular has asked me to do this for a while, and I've always said no because I talk enough on this show. I've got Ed here to keep me in line, make sure my head doesn't get too big. And I have a Kickstarter going at the moment. So I thought if we were going to do this, probably now is the time. You can check it out at spedsy.comx.studio. And here to interview me is the man. Sizzmeister General is going to lay some questions out. And they're not just for me to answer, everybody. You can please jump in if something tickles your fancy, and let's just have fun. And remember, though, that it's all about me. Go.
All about Spedsy. Okay, so what I did to prepare, I went to Google, as you always do when you're preparing for something. I said, what to ask an artist? Give me 20 questions. And it did. So here we go.
All right.
Okay.
These are Google-generated questions.
I'm going to read word for word. Can you describe your drawing routine? How often do you draw? How many hours per day? Et cetera, et cetera.
All right. So we'll go around the room with these because it'll be fun, I think, or it won't be. We'll find out.
Yeah,
Leave us a comment if it's not fun. We'll something else. Describe my drawing routine. I drop the kids off at school. I get enough of the housework done that my wife excuses me for a little while, and then I draw for as much of the day as I can, and then pick up the kids from school, spend as much time with them as I can to make the wife happy, and then put them to bed, and then I draw. What about you, Quick? How and when do you draw?
I try to draw, like after dinner's my prime drawing time. And it's sort of like when I've done, again, enough stuff around the house to feel like I can step away and disappear. And usually, like once you're in that mode, it'll be 2 o'clock in the morning before you realize what you're doing and where you are. You're like, oh, God, I got a day tomorrow. Major, tell me about your routine.
Oh, I don't draw. It's not my thing. I never drew my life. No, I don't have a schedule. I just always have. But last couple of months, I worked full-time animation, and animation is not as much drawing as it used to be. So now I just from 9 to 5, I'm in After Effects animating, and then afterwards, I'll draw either on my iPad, or if I'm someplace else on my lunch break, I'll draw on my phone for a bit. And then I'll draw till, and then I usually spend about 2 to 3 hours before bed animating a TikTok or a gig for something, and that's like hand drawn animation. So it's drawing, and I work on some comics and whatnot. So I don't know, like it's too much drawing. Weekend, I'll do a full day, like full 12-hour day on a weekend. That's
Wow.
So 24 hours. So yeah, 2 days. So I don't go out much. I don't have friends or money to spend.
Yeah, real like that. Don't worry.
Anyways, Nick, what about you? You draw like 15 drawings per minute.
Yeah, so I've got a full-time job that requires me to put in a lot of hours at home, which I neglect so I can draw. So I generally get home at about 4:30 every afternoon, and I try to draw for a few hours every day, especially if I'm trying to knock out an ash can in a day, which I managed to do, I think, last Saturday. So I try to get a little bit done. I guess there's a little bit of pressure from people who are both on the screen now and who were on the screen last week, just to keep improving. So I think I try to do a little bit every day. But that's enough about me. What about you, Ed?
Well, just before you mentioned the word ashcan, now what size traditionally do you guys think of when you think of an ashcan?
A5.
A5. So this monstrosity that I spent $50 printing these things at Officeworks, got them back and went, they're huge. That's what you ordered, but no, I didn't, I swear. So when the Kickstarter is fulfilled, you'll find a lot of them wrapped in these monstrous, can't bring these to conventions because they're horrible ash cans.
Oh, wow. Stacey would like that too.
Yeah, they're horrible. $50. Okay, and anyway, Ed, when do you find time to draw?
I generally draw between anywhere like 8 to 5 hours a day. Just
Wow.
Whenever. In between housework and doing other stuff like writing and doing other things. So that's about it. Who's next, Chris?
What? I heard my name.
How and when do you make time to draw?
When I'm breathing. If I'm awake, there is a pencil in my hand and I'm drawing. No, I generally do around 5 to 7 hours a day of like work drawing. So stuff for Nicole or for Ez, the projects we're working on. I'll take a short break after that and then draw my own stuff, just draw for fun or do practice drawings, work on stuff that I want to get better at. and then I go to sleep, and then I wake up and I start all over again. I do literally nothing else.
It's good that you like. It's good to make time to doodle. Sexy, but sometimes it's good to just start scribbling and draw hands on a page.
I feel it's really important to just draw for the fun of it. So I always make sure I put time aside to do that.
Dave, as you sit there drawing a picture of yourself, when do you find time to draw?
Me, my general routine is get up, feed the horse, then I'll come home, sit down, have a cup of tea, and then I'll sit down and start thinking about drawing, and I might spend about, I'll draw up till lunchtime, and then, and then do about 3 or 4 hours in the afternoon till my missus comes home. And then I'll stop for a while, and then maybe do a little bit in the evening. So, and that's pretty much every day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, right.
So, every now and then I have a day off, but I've got golf. I play golf on Tuesday and Friday mornings, so that takes a little bit out of it. But
what's your handicap?
Every day, generally, I'm drawing.
Dave, what's your handicap in golf? I'm going to guess 8.
I haven't got a handicap. But I've been going around. When I do play 9 holes, I get under 50 on a good day.
Are these on par 5s?
Don't worry about that.
I thought we were gonna weave this into like last time we went MMA, and then today we're gonna go golf.
Yeah. I don't think MMA is probably a lot more exciting than golf.
Don't know. I like golf video games. I've played it a couple of times. I'm crap.
Oh yeah. What's your handicap on that, mate?
36, which is I think the highest you can get. Like that's the beginner one. You start off at 36.
Right.
So no PGA for me.
Hey Neil, when do you find time to draw, or make time to draw?
That's it. Make time to draw. Because I kind of work full time, and so I don't really have time during the week. But because of the job I've got at the moment, I can kind of hold on to a sketch, like not a sketchbook, but so much a notebook. So I've devised a whole bunch of stuff. So it's not really drawing, but if I can get to my drawing board, I have to dust it off each time. It's got dust on it, and I have to dust it off, and if I can get 6 or so hours in, that's great. I just find now after half an hour I've got to stand up, have a little walk, sit down again. I can't do it for long times. That's it.
Yeah, right. Welcome, Duncan Pranavicius, fresh off a successful Bin Kitty campaign. Congratulations. And fresh off his 21st birthday. Swiping right all night is Duncan, how and when do you find time to draw? Yeah.
I don't. Never.
I don't.
Speak up, Duncan.
Yeah, your microphone's really dull.
Does it sound better?
Not
No,
much.
actually.
Shout, bro.
Is that better?
It mustn't be on, mate. Better plug it in.
Maybe it's the mic. Are you sure it's not using the laptop or computer mic?
Yeah, he's not plugged that one in.
It's a good thing he's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, we can hear you, but it's just like...
Hey, I don't want to
Just sit there and
update.
be sexy, Duncan. There you go.
He does that naturally.
There's a few of them who've been practicing their sexy Rob face lately. Can we all give it a little
Sexy Rob face.
Neil's got the glasses.
Sizzle's going to put on his glasses.
No, my glasses are fogged up too much thinking about
I don't know, Nick's faces. All sorts of sexy, but not Rob sexy.
All right. Well, that was question 1 of 20, and it took us 14 minutes. So,
hey, I've got some
We can
news
get
for you.
And while I look for the
Hang on.
page that has the questions, I'll answer that question as well.
Yes, please.
For 5 to 10 minutes before every Oz Comic show,
Hey,
I do my little sketch.
Oh, yeah.
That's my sketch for the week.
I do my little dance on the catwalk. Dave, what were you going to say? You had some breaking news?
Well, I just wanted to upstage Duncan a little bit. Sorry, Dunk, but it was your birthday the other day and you were 31. Well, it's my birthday today.
Hey!
Hey!
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Dave.
28th.
And
Happy 28th.
that's the competition tonight is to guess my age, fellas. Closest
63.
one. What?
63.
24.
59.
12.
32.
6.
Any advances or decreases?
I'm
not going any lower than 6. You've got too many Rickles.
All right, I'll go 61. Who hasn't? Someone hasn't voted. Ed, what do you got?
I'll go 4.
Don't say anything with 3 figures, all right? Or you're in trouble.
Okay, so it's 124.
61.
Drop some guesses in there. Oh, we've got a 61 from Mark.
Oh, yeah. Close.
We've got a 65 from Kerry.
Oh, good on you, Kerry. You're not quite.
63 then.
That's right. 63.
There you go.
Nick got it. First
Thank
off.
you.
I don't know. How did you know that?
I thought Dave Dye 59 almost gave it away.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Very close. I just looked 64 and 64.
No, it's actually because I'm a detective.
Budgie. Oh.
Is it?
Well, happy birthday, Dave. We'd sing,
Thank you
but
very much,
we don't own the rights to the song. So,
Oh no, it's not copyright anymore.
Oh,
yeah. So
Well,
if you want to
somebody was in the
we're
band.
not singing.
But we can sing right, says Fred.
No, you can sing happy birthday now. You don't have to pay royalties anymore for it.
That's okay.
Shall we?
All right, Sis, hit us with a question.
Yeah, let's go question 2, shall we? How much revision editing do you do to your work?
Oh,
not enough. I part of the $50 ash cans. What an idiot! So sent it through, got it printed, then realized I had an F word in there that I had not censored.
Oh.
And
is it 3?
It was Fred.
Fred.
Right said Fred joke.
So yeah.
Freckles.
So anyway, so I censored it and sent it in. I resent it and said, I know I've already paid for the other lot. Oh well, they'll be the. So I paid for another lot when they were wrong too. So I should do more revisions than I do. Yeah, that's why I have people like Hayden Spurrell in my life to read over my stuff, have some fresh eyeballs. What about you, Quick?
Not a lot. I mean, I'd say about 20% of my stuff gets kind of, that's too much. 10% gets like lifted a little bit 10 days after it's finished. But all my spelling and grammar gets a big overhaul thanks to a friend of mine called Owen Heitman, who has edited the Budgie books.
From the Hat District. Owen Heitman here in the Hat District. 2 for the price of... Yeah.
Alex.
But I do love a good name like that that totally says that his ancestors sold hats.
It was Heitman. Sorry, Heitman.
Well, his ancestors were really tall. From the Height District.
Yeah. You're talking about Owen?
Yeah.
Ah, right.
owing people money.
Oh yeah, so revisions, really there is no set number. It varies from getting it right the first go, or depending on, like, if it's something that's in my head that I want to get down, usually I'll do it first go, no problems. But if something like there's like a project, like for instance for Presents 3, I've thrown out a couple of pages that were like fully inked because it didn't work. So and I've probably went through it probably 12, 13 times. So, but if it's got any writing in it, like, I don't know, like I go through it quite a bit and there's still spelling mistakes and grammatical incoherencies and stuff like that. So even though it looks like it's kind of like a first draft, it's been a lot of failures and stuff. For that one as well, that one, that one I did pretty much first go, but I do like a lot of like roughs. Like I do pretty much all my projects. I do a lot of pre-production before I go to final stuff. So very rarely do I have to go through like what I did with Presents.
On Kickstarter now.
Oh yeah, there you go. They're my thing, Minor Birds. I'm actually doing a little. I'm learning 3D and I'm using him to the little Minor Bird to do a little 3D model. And,
right. Yeah, that's brilliant stuff, mate.
Duncan, something? I don't know. Sizzle is pointing at you. So
No, I was pointing to the word.
Oh, to the word. Oh, the link. Oh, sorry. I thought you were pointing at Duncan. I was like,
no.
Oh, there you go.
What about you, Nick? Did you have to do many revisions when doing your awesome new story as part of Vamoose 3?
Ooh. Yes.
Available on Kickstarter now.
I think I probably drew the entire 7 pages at least 3 times, and one of the times the 7 pages was 10 pages. So I second guessed myself a lot. Must be something to do with my teacher, but I think I finally. Sorry, Neil, that was an unneeded dig. Yeah. Hey. If only I could get in on that show. I redraw everything all the time. Everything needs to be revised. But Ed, you're such a genius. You can probably answer that question yourself.
As far as revisions go, I do a lot of thumbnails from the original. Like it'll be like a really little one, then I'll do a bigger one. And then when I put it onto the page, I usually revise a lot of stuff, change things around there until I get it right. And then also I leave the pages for a little while, like a couple of days to a couple of weeks or whatever, and then look at it again and notice lots of little mistakes and stuff, like costume mistakes and things, which I'll fix up then before going to print, and then things still get through. But yeah, it's just constant revisions. Just having the luxury of time but not having a deadline like a monthly comic artist, you can kind of get away with taking a bit more time with this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice. What about you, Chris?
Every page gets revisions because every page goes to the person who's asked me to draw something, and then they send it back and going, can you change this and this and this? But yeah, every page I do, when I do the pencils, that gets sent off to either Nick or whoever else I'm working for, and I get them to check it over. And then when I do the inks, I do the same thing. And then when I do the colors, it's too late. But yeah, every page gets revisions. They send me back notes, and then I look over it, and then I find more notes. Yeah. I
have a question, Chris. Do you agree with the notes, or do you sometimes fight back and go like, fuck off, you're wrong, these are great?
If it depends. There have been a couple of times where I've gone back and gone, actually, I've that's kind of your fault. That's how it's written in the script. If you want it different, you'll have to change the script. And there have been a couple of times where we've ended up brainstorming and coming up with better ideas together. And there have been times where I've kind of pushed back and gone, you've written it badly and I don't like it. And then like
you say that?
2 hours later, I've gone, actually, no, I just didn't understand what you were trying to do. And now I do, and now I know what I'm supposed to be drawing. And at which point I kind of go back and grovel and go, I'm sorry. But I just didn't get it. I
didn't get it. That means they wrote it poorly. They're supposed to write it in a way that you can understand it easily. So it's their fault.
I don't.
I always try to start fights.
Sometimes my brain just does not work. I read the thing and I'm like, is this what they want? And then I read it 2 days later and I'm like, oh my, why? Why did I not see that?
Yeah, I've done the same thing, mate. You know, you read a page and thought I've got it and then just sort of dashed it down. And then really it's not quite exactly what they wanted. It was, you know, left things out or done something like that. Right. Oh, yeah. That's my Cafard. You know,
Cafard. I can't wait to see this book.
Now, that story there, does everyone familiar with Papillon?
Yes. The movie or the butterfly, or just the butterflies in general?
Well, Papillon is butterfly, isn't it?
Yeah. It's French for
butterfly. Is cockroach.
So, really? Okay.
So
there
it's
you
different.
go.
But it's Devil's Island and all that. So it's you know.
Devil's what?
Not Devil's Toilet. There might be Devil's Toilet on Devil's Island. Talking about changing things. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. How often do you do revisions?
Here's my script for this page 13, and that's it there. And here is the page as it turned out. It's still been it. Now, this panel here was completely different. I had to rub it all out because I penciled it from that page that I just showed you before, drew it all out, and then went on to the next page. And I do it pretty quickly, get it all done, and then I go back through it and start the inking. And when I come back to the inking, I go, I don't like that picture I've got there, so I changed it. So I rubbed the whole thing out and did it again. Same with this panel. This fella here was actually going this way, and I didn't want that. I wanted him looking back that way, so I changed that. That was all redrawn. And this I think was changed completely because it was more like this panel up here, and I didn't want two the same. I wanted it a bit closer, so that was all rubbed out and redrawn.
Wow.
And this one, it was a little similar to that, but the hand was a lot smaller, so I made it bigger, give it more 3-dimension, and this hand I made smaller, so it was going away more. I changed his face a bit, and she was the same. So they're the changes I made as I was going along, and that was done just before I started the inking. And I dropped the big smudge of ink there.
So what's that? You'll catch that in Photoshop?
Yeah, no, I'll probably put white out. A lot of my mistakes I make when I'm doing the bloody lettering is that I have to fix. So I might white that out in white out and not have to worry. But sometimes there's a little bit of residue that I may have to just touch up in Photoshop or Quick Studio Paint. Yeah, that's him. That's me. Yeah. So yes, I do changes right up to the end.
Yeah.
Nice.
Neil, you big on revisions?
No, not really. I use the "she'll be all right, mate."
She'll be right tonight.
And if people complain, I go, "I meant it like that." It looks good. I meant it like that. I probably just write stuff out and kind of figure it out from there. And if it looks good, then it works. If it doesn't work, then I just leave it alone and thumbnail. And that's it. And then just try and draw it from there. That's it.
Nothing.
What about you, Dunk? Can we hear you?
I don't know. Can you?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
better.
Oh, what? Holy shit. Yeah, I change my stuff all the time, constantly.
Right.
I always just don't like it. Do something and you just go.
Exactly.
Yeah, Zach.
Don't like. But constant up until it's eventually finished.
Sis?
Yeah, I don't really do revisions. I just what I draw in that first 5 minutes is what I give to the show.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Next question. Okay.
Yeah,
You do
Sorry?
it perfect first time.
Yeah, it's always perfect.
That's what Sizzle
It's
does.
always how you're going to get it, whether you like it or not. All right, talk your process. Do you write a script? Do you just make it up as you draw? Do you do a bit of both?
Yes, different strokes for different folks. Devil's Toilet. I am trying to get really scripty with my scripts. Trying to write them as though I write for someone else. But then on the flip side, this was one of the most fun books I've had for a long time because I knew the scenes that I wanted, and so I just started drawing them, and then I kind of wrote it later, and it required some panels being moved around a little bit because I was like, I really want to fit more dialogue or whatever the case may be. But yeah, this was next to no script, so I want to try and keep it that way for the next 3 issues. Yeah, Sluggish, available on Kickstarter now. Spreadsy.comx.studio. Mention it more.
Rob, I got a production question with you for Sluggish. So is it all 100%? Did you draw it on your iPad, or do you sometimes have like a little paper sketchbook to doodle on, or do you sometimes on your computer and do Photoshop nonsense?
All on Procreate on iPad. Sometimes when we touch,
when do we touch, Rob?
I create my characters on paper most often. Yeah, but then when it comes to sequential art, it's thumbnails through to colors is all on the iPad. Quick.
Can you repeat the question?
Pretty much your process. Do you write a script first, then draw, or do you draw and the story just flows?
I just I can know where the story's going. I've got like a page. I've got like a list of page numbers and what happens on each page with the sentence, and then I've got like whatever joke I think is important next to that sentence, and then that's part of the process for me. Is like finish a page, all the artwork's done, all the colors or whatever layers. Move it aside, and then start the whole process again of writing and thumbnailing. And that way, it's like, I don't know, if I'm not doing that, I feel like I'm just kind of chasing my tail, or I've created something months ago, and I'm trying to keep up with whatever that guy wanted. I want to be kind of in the moment, writing as I go, making changes as I go. So, like, I guess I follow the she'll be right approach as well, even if it does cause a little bit of whatever seems to happen. Alex Major.
Actually, I've got a bunch of notebooks. I just keep drawing ideas. So like before, when I used to when I was in Shanghai and Hong Kong, ding ding ding. Yep. Because I was a lot of public transport between work. I was on the subway, and a lot of times I would just have ideas all the time, thinking on public. I actually like public transport like longer, so I could sit down and I always have jot down some ideas. Like on my phone, I always doodle on that too. And then I've got a bunch of devices as well. I've got like a bunch of iPads, and I also have like a little e-ink device which is just black and white thing. I'll take that to a coffee shop and I write down ideas, and then when something comes up, I'll bring up the ideas. Like for instance, for Presents 3, it was an idea I had before everything showed up. So then I was like, I saw Sizzle post on Facebook. I'm looking for submissions, and then I was like, all right, I have this idea, and here's an outlet, and then I could just dig in from some ideas. So I've got like a bunch of like old ideas everywhere. So probably like another comic I'll have will be another 10-year-old story that I did someplace I just thought of before, and then I have to flash it out later. So that's probably more closest for like comics and stuff. For animations, like I usually collaborate with somebody, so that's like a complete other thing. And this is not an animation show; it's a comic show. So let's move it on to the next comic. Nick, say something funny.
What do I do? Quite often, and I've said it before, I do a lot of writing when I'm asleep. So I sort of dream about the sorts of things that I want to put into comics and then wake up and draw them. And that's probably why I do so many revisions, because I think things that make sense in your dreams don't make sense when they're on paper. But the last thing, the thing that I'm sort of working on at the moment, the old blood drought or blood desert, as I erroneously call it sometimes, I wrote down a few words, and then I drew exactly what the words were, and the story sort of worked and the story sort of didn't work. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the first times that I've actually, it wasn't a script, but it was sort of a story outline. And maybe that's the last time I'll ever do that as well. But I'd be...
What's happening with blood drought / desert? Where is it going? When can we see it?
Well, who knows? Who knows, Rob? It started as something, it became something else, and it'll probably just go the way of Minty Frisket in harmonica, and it'll probably become like a 25 copy non-collector's item, but who knows? We'll see what happens. But Ed, how about you, mate?
So I start with like I have an idea for like some scenes or some big idea that I want to have happen in the story, and then I do it like with the writing too. I do a bunch of revisions and keep refining it down until I take it to like a per page level, and then write it all out, and then go to the drawing from there. And sometimes I yeah, the refiner, that's right. I won't put any script in. I'll do the scripting later. And sometimes I just go from page to page, just drawing whatever. But it's mostly a lot of writing up front, chucking out what can't fit in, and then breaking it down into the beats per page of what's going to happen in the story. And getting the structure and the page turns and stuff is kind of what I focus on a lot.
Oh,
getting it to flow.
Ed, I was on a shout out to Bo Roth. I was on a show earlier in the week called Spedsyverse, and I was talking about some of the books that I've read recently or that I bought recently, and I showed Radical, and they were very taken by the idea of laser balls. I was just like, well, just picture Cyclops' power, but instead of coming out of his eyes, it comes out of his balls. They were very into it. What about you, Chris?
Well, again, because I don't do my own work, I only do jobs for other people, I guess I get a script, I go through it, read it, make lots and lots of notes, do character sketches, send all the stuff off to whoever wrote it, get everything approved, and then do my thumbnails, do my page layouts, and do my pencils, send that all off, get that approved, do all my inks, do all my colors, and then move on to the next thing.
Actually, just because I'm allowed to just interrupt this episode and bring things back to me. What was your process in regards to Vamoose? Because the script-wise, I'm just curious what the script was like in terms of panel breakdown. Because there's it's almost drawn into flashes, but not. And I just wondered how much that's your influence or Nicole's.
That was very much like Nick sent me the script, and I kind of started, working on it, and I kind of shot back to her, and I was like, I'm kind of having a hard time with the layout, and she said, take all the panels out, don't do any panels. I was like, okay, I'll give that a go. And then an hour later, I mapped out the entire thing, and I'd gone back to her and like, yeah, actually, that really works. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, she wrote it. Did she? She
wrote it. Nicole wrote it.
Yeah.
But I mean, she and I really like doing that, like pushing the medium and kind of seeing what we can do in terms of making it not comic booky. So yeah. NS Kane and Chris Pitcairn, that's us.
NS Kane.
But yeah,
Chris, I got a question. Do you have a story? Do you have a story inside you want to tell? Do you have like your own stories that you sometimes doodle or just write down or something that you might want to tell?
I do. I mean, I've actually got 2 webcomics that are floating around online. Both of them are unfinished because I basically only do them whenever I feel like I need to, because I just do them for the fun of it and for me. But like on those occasions, I basically just make it up as I go. And I just pick it up and drop it as and when. Like, they've both been up there for, I think, like 5 or 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
One's at like 70 odd pages, and the other one I think is at 60 pages. But yeah, like one of them I haven't touched for 2 years. One of them I recently picked up again a few months ago, and now I've dropped it halfway through the chapter because I got bored, and then I'll pick it up again later. But yeah, so I don't. That's cool.
Dave, I've never realized that, of course, that would be how you use a ruler with a brush.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to put it on a
We're
bit of
learning.
I think this requires a little bit of background music. Yeah, take us away.
Is Old Man Biscuit, is that you, Dave, that he's throwing in there?
No.
That's Putin.
No. It is too. Awesome.
You've gone that line's a bit far, but anyway, that's all right. I'll fix that up later.
Wow. That's so awesome.
No, I'm still listening to that.
I was waiting for the singing to kick in, but it just never happened.
Wait for it. No borders.
Yep, no borders. No borders allowed.
That's it.
I can't even remember what the question was.
Yeah, neither
your
can I now.
Process.
Hang on.
process. Dave, what's your process?
Pretty well much. You pretty much showed it on the last thing. You saw me. I write out a script. I write a story out in long. I usually do it in a book with pencil and paper or something. I don't do it on a computer. I can't type that quick. And then I'll just make up from the story. I'll break it up into this sort of little page story booklet, which lays out the panels and all the panels and pages, and then transfer that onto A3 with blue pencil out fairly tightly, but as I said, it'll change, and then I ink it. That's pretty much it, and then color in Clip Studio Paint usually.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like drawing in Clip Studio Paint or not really?
No.
Dave?
Oh, I do. I have done a few comics stories in that, but I prefer to do pen and ink and brush. It's just what I like to do.
And ruler.
And
What about you, Mr. Blandon?
It depends on what I'm doing. Because I've tried all different methods, I kind of keep doing them all now. So if it's something short, like I'm doing a lot of short stuff at the moment. Like I said, I've got a notebook and write down notes and thumbnail. But if it was something big, I don't know, I guess 6 pages and beyond, I might get on the computer and write it out like a script. And so that way you're able to edit really quickly. And then you've got the script, you can thumbnail, and you just thumbnail. And really, when it gets to the page, I make it up from the thumbnails, but I like to keep it loose just so it's more interesting for me to do. But yeah, it's like computer and sometimes writing. That's it.
Cool.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah, that's right, mate. But it is my best friend when I do my fixes, Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm doing my,
does it look at you judgmentally when you go to it to get your fixes done? Oh, no.
It says, I knew you'd come back. I knew you'd be back. I'll never desert it.
What about you, Mr. Prenavicius?
Me? What, me? What was the question?
Process, buddy.
What's your process?
My process is living life by the seat of your pants, and you just get the page and you go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go buck wild and you see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, no. Okay. My phone was just like, I had like probably 20, 30 note pages of like bin kitty ideas and stuff, but the majority of it was all just going up in the air. Like you lay in bed and then you think of something, you go, oh, that's good. You lean over and you type it. Apart from that, I'm winging the whole thing.
Ice Cube was another artist known for going buck wild, so you're in good company.
I don't understand that reference.
Well, I just Ice Cube was always going buck wild. I don't know. That's what I think that he said. I don't totally know what it means.
I'm not a rapman, Spedsy.
Yeah, it's funny. Now that I say it out loud and think of your metal t-shirts and stuff, yeah, I just thought, we have wrestling in common. Maybe we have gangster rap in common, but
No.
Some. I'll listen to Ice Cube because it's the theme song for the wrestler New Jack.
Right.
Natural Born Killers.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Ice Cube and Dr. Dre.
Insane Clown Posse.
Sure. I started listening to them. Somebody on my TikTok recommended me to them, and I'm like, oh, they're not, they're bad, but I like it.
You got to at least.
We don't want to
look for
get
the great
some juggalos in the comments. That's the last thing we need.
No, we need more.
Well,
why don't we want juggalos in the comments?
What's that?
Word up to all my juggalos and juggettes.
Juggalettes, they're called because.
Oh, juggalettes.
They asked me if I'm a juggalette because
Duncan, you'd know that guy, right? The guy. What up to all my juggalos and juggettes? And then he jumps off a platform onto a microwave or something. Yeah.
Yes, and he has like Lego all over it.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure we still have some things in common.
Yeah,
all right,
no, we know it.
I'm going to skip a question because I don't think we're going to get through all 20.
No, we're going to stay up late tonight.
No,
What you said?
The after party, I'll continue the questions. But for now, we'll just go for a nice simple one. Tools of the trade. What do you use to draw?
This. Hand.
Yes.
Stay tuned for more jokes
I use
like
this.
that.
It's my foot.
Yes, I design characters often with a pencil and paper, because that's where I like to doodle, and then I will go to my iPad, Procreate with an iPencil. It is iPencil here to be used. What about you, Quick?
I'm all digital. I use a Wacom tablet, but I also use an iPad and Green Lantern. Because I'm so I move between Procreate and Photoshop because you can do that with PSD files. So a plug for each application there.
Hey, they might be sponsoring us next week. Good on you, mate.
Are you down with PSD? Yeah, you know me. There's another reference that Duncan won't get. What about you, Alex?
Alienating Duncan.
Yeah, I use a ton of tools. So I've got 2 iPads. I got my iPad Pro and my iPad Mini, which I carry a lot more often. And then if I don't have anything, if I don't carry a bag with me, then it's my phone. And I've got like about 8 different styluses, but I'm using this one. I also have like a Cintiq in the back someplace, and I have a Surface Pro, and I got like a little e-ink tablet for drawing as well. See, when you don't have kids, you spend it all on drawing equipment.
You should set them up around you and then just 360 different.
I should, but they're all like in a couple of other rooms. I've got something in the bedroom. I got one in the. I actually have like a work Cintiq as well, which is like the big 24-inch one. But my personal one's like a little, it's like a mobile studio pro. So, but I never take it mobile. The most mobile I'll go is just go from one room to another. It's pretty chunky.
Alex,
so
answer this honestly.
Yes.
Do you draw in the toilet?
Yes, I have. I have. I've sat there for like 45 minutes once, and I did a TikTok there. I'd like to have more shame. I
don't. Nick, do you have any hemorrhoid-inducing drawing on the toilet stories for us?
No, sadly. Everything I do is in Procreate using Apple Pencil and iPad Pro. I cannot draw on paper anymore. My eyes are so bad that when I draw something, I keep trying to enlarge it. That doesn't work.
For a while too. It's not even like an iPad. It's just like you can't get the detail. You're like, oh, it's a lot easier to zoom in, pinch, zoom, and rotate. And like when you go, and then you have to go rotate the paper, zoom, put your place.
And of course, Nick, you sit at a fully ergonomic desk and 90-degree chair when you draw. Is that correct?
So yes, the rumors are true that I do all of my best work when I'm in bed. So I lie on my back and I rest my iPad on me and I draw that way. So when I'm doing what I'm doing tonight, it's very unnatural to me to actually be sitting up drawing. But anyway, whatever gets the job done right. Ed?
For traditional, I use the pens and just pens and pencils, just normal stuff. And for digital, I do the penciling on my Microsoft Surface, and then I ink on the Cintiq. So I find that it's really nice to draw on the Microsoft Surface, but I can't get control with doing the inking for some reason.
Which
And
do you
then
have? Which model do you have? Of the Surface?
The Surface, it's maybe 4 years old, I think. It's an old one.
Oh, the new ones, they fixed the pencil, so I bought it, and you can do smooth lines now, and it has
Well,
really
not
good.
so much the smoothness. It's like when I go to do a curve, kind of it doesn't like go straight or something. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, they fixed that. They used to have that.
Is that a thing? Yeah. Okay. I can't afford a new one, so it's all right. And I've got a really old Wacom too. It's like a 12-inch thing. I got it secondhand about 8-9 years ago or something, but it all still works. So you just keep going.
Secondhand, they're pretty expensive to buy.
Yeah. It's a little one. It's the screen I think is about the same size as my Surface tablet, but it's got all the Wacom like drivers and stuff.
Yep.
And I use Clip Studio Paint to do all my digital stuff on.
Yep. I recommend that too.
Tools of the trade for you, Chris?
Oh, sorry.
Pretty much everything I do comic wise is digital. I also have my Wacom. Thumbnails through to colors, all of it's digital, unless I decide that it needs to be a traditional painting for that particular work or that particular page. But yeah, mostly digital. I've gotten into that awful habit where I'm sketching in my pad just with pen and paper, and I make a mistake and I go to hit Control-Z. I'm like, oh no, wait, it's real. I can't do that with paper. I can't undo it.
That's right.
Mr. Miyagi was a digital guy too. He used to whack on, whack off. Yeah.
How long you wait for that one?
I don't know what version you were watching.
Oh, leg. Dave, well, we know your tools. We can see them.
Yeah.
Dave, we can see your tool.
But I do use Clip Studio Paint, and I do have a Wacom tablet, and I've got iPad Pro with a pencil thing. So I did a whole comic story with this thing.
Yeah.
But this is what I generally use. Yep. Pens, and I've got just here in front of me. Now, this is only a handful of them, but I've got hundreds of them just sitting there, and I tend to dip into it all the time, these pens. So it's not just nib and brush all the time.
What did you use to colour Cafard?
Now
on Kickstarter.
That was in Clip Studio Paint. Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Ah,
Look at that. Look at those. Look at the colours. The colours just...
They pop.
I use that bright colour because I went to Port Arthur in Tasmania, the convict settlement, and the old convicts down there wore bright yellow. They used to call them canaries. So that's why I don't know if the French ones are in bright yellow, but I thought, oh, well, it's nice and bright on the page, so I'll do them bright yellow too.
Yeah. Neil, how's your tool?
Sorry. Hello. Brush and ink, Daiso ink. Daiso ink's really good, and brushes. And I've been doing that for about 7 years. I used to use mapping quills like dip pens, but brushes are better on your hand, and good cartridge. And if I color, I've got a Wacom and just use Photoshop to color. And if I'm using a sketchbook, I use stuff like Lami's. Hello, there we go, Lami's, stuff like that.
What is it? Show me now.
A Lamy. Look, there it is.
That's your what? Your brush?
No, that's a pen.
All right. Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's a
Just for
fountain pen.
sketchbooks and stuff. Yeah, fountain pen.
Right.
Nick May, what's famously you studied at the Neil Blandon School of Amazingness? What do you remember? Was there a word of wisdom that Neil passed on to you that you can now pass on to us?
Yeah, no, actually, it was not suitable. Neil reinforced every lesson where he taught us comic making, no tangents. So I find that when I'm doodling, there are tangents everywhere. But when I come to doing finished art, I hear Neil's voice saying, "Nick, no tangents." But he passed on so much more wisdom. But yeah, you have to pay for the course to get there. You have to pay for it twice, like I did.
It's not the promoters. The promotion section is a little bit later.
Oh yeah.
Ironically, that was Duncan's turn to answer a question, but I went off on a tangent. Meh.
No tangent.
Check this out. Ready? Experimenting with my clicks.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
I guess the pixelation.
Bonjour.
Wait.
Oh no, there's something.
Oh. Very good.
Wow.
Very good.
Sweet.
Nice.
Wow. That was amazing. Dunk, what do you use to make your magic?
I've got a dodgy old XP pen thing.
Oh, the old XP
doesn't
pen.
work very well, which plugs into whatever laptop I've got available with a HDMI plug, and I can't get it. Oh my God. I use my hand. Oh, I
Ah.
It's like a dream.
Nice.
Ice Cube.
Yeah. But I'm good at drawing the notes app with my finger on my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
There's my phone, like decent drawing apps. But
Mm.
it's pretty much it. It's my. Everyone's got their Wacom and fancy brushes, and I'm using my phone.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
You can do what works for you. Well, what do you think, Sis? Should we start looking at some stuff, maybe?
We should be looking at stuff. I think we've gone through enough questions. We're at the hour mark, so time to start. I will look at what we've been sent to give everyone here a bit of a chance to do a little bit more. So the first one that came in was from Dan May, and he went all out.
Woo!
Whoa.
Oh, put it back.
Danny
Wow.
boy.
Nice.
There you go.
Damn, wow. Beautiful.
Fun it, Dan.
Well
I'm
done.
just taking it in. Just give me a sec. It's awesome. So it's Zombie Chaloni and Zombie Old Man Biscuit versus Meat Sack Jack, Muggs, and Devil's Toilet with a monstrous axe. That is so cool. Meat Sack Jack's got a flipping the bird. I love it, Dan. That's awesome. That is so cool. Oh, it's wicked.
And then we've got one from
Thanks so much, Dan.
Darren.
Whoa!
Hey, good on you,
Oh,
Darren.
cool.
Good stuff, mate.
Great.
Chelani.
Look in the top left-hand corner. He's got it in like kind of like my style, and then like all the way the other way, and then it's kind of like he's kind of landed somewhere in the middle between those two. That is so
it's cool,
beautiful. I love
Nice
his
one, Darren.
vest.
Mr. Huddy.
Very good.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
Duncan sent his in.
Oh!
Ah, that's cool.
Holy shit! Holy
That is
shit.
awesome.
He looks so depressed. It's amazing. Ah, Duncan, you
Pulled it
smashed
from my
it.
own
That is
life.
so
Yeah,
cool.
that's a ripper,
Smashed
mate. Well done.
And then we
Wow.
have Nick May.
Nice.
Pink gloves.
Pink glove.
Pink gloves are back,
Love
baby.
it.
Man, I love it. Wow, I love it. Boots, everything. So cool.
That's all the emailed ones. So now we start picking on people.
Whew.
Give me
So
a little
awesome.
sec.
Who's up?
You can.
Sorry, just getting some outstanding.
Shit, mine, can you see
Okay,
it?
we got some.
Nice.
Oh, no way.
Oh, good.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's got like a Logan.
Yeah.
Well done. Ed.
Made it like
Well
a
done, Ed.
Unreal, Ed.
So he looks like the Tekken guy.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's wicked.
that's old man Biscuit, all right. Good one, mate.
Dave used to look like.
Yeah, that's what I was like when I was 45.
Thanks, Ed.
20 years old.
So, Chris,
Yep.
I'll just boost you up.
Uh,
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
We're the whole family.
That was
There
great.
you go.
Holy moly.
Great
did
work,
I
well,
mate.
decided I'd be ambitious.
Yeah.
My fingers regret it, but I don't. It's all right.
Oh. And you know what, Chris? The mugs guy in the middle, the demon looking dude, I've no idea how to draw his mouth from other angles. You've just taught me how to do it. Of course, that's how it looks. Oh, man.
I do try.
Oh, it's
I'm very
amazing.
trying.
It's amazing. Thank you so much. That is so awesome.
So, who's next on the list? Well, we've been watching Dave. So, you want to turn there, Neil?
Yeah.
I just got to I get this wrong every time. There we go. I gave him nipples and the belly
I
button.
gave him nipples
Oh,
and everything.
No.
Flies. I love it.
Oh, there's flies. Nice work. That's so cool. Oh, love it. Thanks, Neil. That is so cool.
Oh, good. Thank you.
So awesome.
So that's everyone. So Dave's
Hang
are
on.
you
Just
signing
let
there,
me
Dave?
finish this one.
I just okay.
Shirt. One of my favorites.
Ah, yes. Oh, nice shirt.
Oh yes.
Snuck that one in.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's a ripper too, mate.
All right. Where are you at? Right. Oh, let's bring it up. Bring it home.
All right. There it is.
Oh. Nice. Nice. And you can tell you've read the book too, calling him DP and then One Way Ticket to Hell. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I guess
Dave.
that's going to be dropped all over Russia now.
Yeah, could organise an airdrop on that one over the Ukraine. I love it. Yeah.
Wow.
And
That
Chris
was
Wood
amazing.
just sent one in the last minute. And it's just loading up. Sorry. And it's
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Spedsy himself.
Can you put it up again? Sis?
Yep, sure.
Who's
Who
done
did
that?
Wow. Chris.
That is fantastic.
Who did that?
Chris Wood.
Chris Wood.
Wow.
Chris
That's
That
Wood,
is
wouldn't he?
amazing.
Fantastic, mate.
Thank
I
you
think I
for
wanna
making my nose look remotely
really
human.
Yeah. That's
Somebody that knows
Probably
anatomy.
wrong.
That is so cool,
Yeah.
Chris. Thank you so much.
And I'll just double check. Nothing's coming in the last minute, and I have nothing. So we are at that time when we find out which character, because things have changed. Chris, Alex
Yes.
has put things around on us. Which
Yeah.
character is the hottest character in Australian comics? So let's find out. Hey!
Oh,
Yeah, I put somebody else's character coming out of a toilet. So.
Why not?
That's awesome.
Why not, mate? Exactly right, Alex.
excellent, Alex.
Yeah, good on you, mate. You deserve that too. I agree.
Oh,
Good one.
That's so
Rob's not
cool.
the only one promoting his own characters now, is he?
Yeah, good on you.
No, thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
good on you,
Thank you
Chris.
to everybody who sent
Yeah.
one in. Obviously, thank you to everybody here in the room too. Absolutely amazing. Actually, I should show you because I was lucky enough to, in the OG days of Drink and Draw, one of the first 4 shows was a Frederick Cheloney show.
Yes.
And I feature everybody's art from that episode in the back of
Oh, right.
3. So if you want to
Oh,
check
wow.
out all kinds of art and makings of stuff, and
Yeah.
even an Old Man Biscuit by Nick May stuck in there.
Yeah.
Check it out now on Kickstarter. Spedsyverse.comx.studio. Over to you.
Hey, I've got to show you something. Here's something.
Yeah.
Bring the photo up to me. Here's that's just to prove I did have hair once.
No, you did that in clip art, Dave.
Photoshop.
Definite Photoshop job.
Well,
Cool,
what do you
so
think,
we are-
Chris? Should we take it away?
Yeah, we're at that part of the show where we all get to. Oh God, there's so much stuff here. Who's this?
This poor person is looking through the newspaper for info on what projects our artists have been working on. And this lost individual is using a map to find where she can follow our artists on social media and buy their books. How about we save them the trouble and just tell them? We call this next segment Shameless Self-Promotion.
Now I'm going to plug this one. Vivian.comx.studio. The draft detective who goes around solving occult crimes and occult mysteries. Check it out on. If I can quickly find where I need to go to.
Back my Kickstarter. My name's Vivian.
Oh, sorry.
Back it.
Just how I imagined he would sound.
I was scarred by a witch, which turned me to the occult.
Zach
Now
must
you must back my book.
Sounds a little bit Mr. Hanky.
be right now.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
No, thank you.
Yeah, so Zach, if you're out there, I would love to audition for the cartoon. Just
Don't let him.
Lots of blood.
Lots of blood. Very first page. Lovely.
yeah, so
I'm just going to guess.
yeah, so I was putting this up every week, but now I have these in my hands. The actual books are done and here and ready.
Wow.
We just need to finish the campaign. So I swear you'll stop hearing from me in 20 days. I'll stop pimping all this stuff so much. Go hard, something. Yeah, Devil's Toilet 3. Some of my best art to date, I believe. Sluggish, some of my best storytelling with my art to date, I believe. And then Vamoose 3, which is only bigger and better than issue 1 and 2. Includes
How's your art in that one? Where do you rank
some of the greatest artists and storytellers in Australia, many of whom have been on this very show. It would mean a lot to me, even if you can't back the Kickstarter, share it with a friend. And that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody here in the studio. Over to you, quick.
Don't buy my stuff. DetectiveBudgie.com.
DetectiveBudgie.com. Go now. Alex.
Yes, yeah, I got nothing new. If you guys want to check out something you haven't seen before, I got some old Naomi and Pocky comic strips on my Webtoons, Sloppy Toons, so you can check them out there. There's about 107 strips, and then other than that, by do three panel strips. It's not that much. I get too amazed, and then I have a story in Vermouth 3 and in ComX Presents. Those things you can. It's never too late to buy them. And then also I have my Korean comics, Teacher. I'll have to send them to Sizzle so you can order them.
Put them in the shop.
Probably be sending 10 of them over eventually. So sorry, I know I have to do them. So now that people know, harass Sizzle, so he harasses me, and then people are harassed. And then next, this one.
Harass me.
Right, let's go to. Yeah, that's the one. Teacher.
Oh, yours has a cover.
It's not the cover. It's
my copy's just white.
And now for scale, for everybody at home, this is an A5 ash can, and then that's how small it is. Not A5. I fruit bagged it up. They're A4. They're crap. $50.
Anyways, go to north. Is it? I think it's in northeastern Ukraine, Chernobyl.
I'm nearly ready to go, Alex, but I have a feeling that you've forgotten one of your main roles on the show tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody,
of course.
Everybody forgot. Everybody, you need to subscribe. Click the bell so you get notifications, and also some of the questions were answered in previous episodes. A lot better. You can revisit them. So, for example, when we wanted to know Dave Dye's thinking behind making comics, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did an episode about that. So you should go back and listen to it. It's pretty good.
So then you can see how often we repeat material. Yeah.
So
yeah, well done, mate. Jeez.
That's a more Chris Wood was kinder with my nose there quick.
anyways, let's go back to northeastern Ukraine.
Okay, I can be found on Instagram at Chernobyl. I urge you to look at what Rob's showing now. There's a small competition between me and Jim Lee about who can sell the most issues of a comic. At the moment, Jim Lee is about 7,999,975 ahead of me. So if we can just catch up on that. So yeah, I'm also in competition with Spedsy. So please order when you go to his Kickstarter campaign. Order the Nick May variant. I've also got a short story that will be coming out 1 year. From Silver Fox Comics about the zombie basketballer. And I have just put together this little proof of concept.
Bring this up, Sis.
Ash can. What size is that? It's an ash can size, Rob. I don't know if you know that.
I don't know. Just hold it up to the screen and then
it's A5. So that's A4. That's the Nick May cover for Vermouth 3. So it's a regular sort of a sized ash can, probably one of the greatest ash cans ever made. But enough about me and more about Ed.
My ash cans are bigger than ComX.
That's
I'm working on a 80s crime story for ComX Noir called Cobber. And I'm also working on my a team superhero book called Battle Team Alpha, which is my first comic that came out in the 90s. And I'm redoing that.
Bring that up. Wow, look at that.
So it's
Yeah.
unlike my other stuff, it's pretty much just fighting all the way through. So
How far away is this, Ed? This looks
for about 4 pages.
holy
Good on ya.
moly! Can't
I've
wait.
been drawing it over a couple of years, but
Oh,
it's like
right,
an ode to the image stuff. I'm starting at issue 3 because I never got to issue 3 in the 90s, so I'm going to start at 3 and then I'll go back to 1 and 2.
Oh, that's wicked.
Star Wars.
That's the best way to do
Star
it.
Wars.
I've
But I
been
would
drawing
put-
zombies the last couple
Wow,
of
look at that. That's
last
great
week.
art, mate.
There's the camera. It's been taking a long time to draw that stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's a
That's
big
awesome.
fight scene on this
Wow,
one.
yeah.
Holy crap!
Massive.
And
I want it.
Radical 4 has been drawn. I'm coloring it, and then I'm going to letter it. Radical 5 is half drawn about. That's been drawn by another artist called George
Oh.
Vega.
Okay.
And Radical
cool.
Comic Book on Facebook is the Radical page, and Ed Kearsley Art on Instagram is where you can find all my stuff.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for Battle. What was it? Battle Team Alpha?
Battle Team Alpha, because it was originally called Battle Tide, and then I found out that there's a Marvel UK book called Battle Tide,
Right.
which I thought they'd stolen it off me, because in 1994 I sent in a submission to Marvel UK and never heard back from them, and then a couple of years after that, find this Battle Tide comic book and they've totally ripped me off. They just did it 2 years before I sent in my submission, so
Son of a gun.
Those dogs. Time traveling dogs.
Time travel swipe.
They preemptively ripped you off.
they did. And
Where
thanks
Where
to
can
Chris
we
Wood.
find you, Mr. Pecan?
Yes.
I've just done a comic with SK. Oh yes, I'm in the comic. I'm in the Vermoose. I'm in the thing. I've got a short film in there. So go click on the Kickstarter and give Rob some money. Or just give him some money. Just do it. Just give him.
Yeah, why
Just give
not?
all of him
Yeah.
money.
If you see me on the street, tap me a
I've
five.
also got Wolf Cubs, which is a children's fantasy comic with Signet Studio. That's just being kickstarted, so that will be out soon. I'm also the illustrator for Fox and Hound with NS Kane Comics, and so if you want to see that, follow that, go to NS Kane Comics and follow her, and you'll see my work pop up. And we've also got a secret project which we should be able to reveal in the next few months, but I can't say anything about it now. But yeah, that's it from me.
It's Aquaman, isn't it? You guys are doing Aquaman.
No,
Did you
I
find
ate
out what to take
before
this week?
the show.
Actually,
It will remain a mystery.
Chris was having a drink, and I almost interrupted someone to find out what the drink was, but I embarrassed him enough last week. So I want him on the show. I don't want to drive him away. So
Yeah,
What did you have for tea anyway, Chris?
it's a secret.
Hey?
It's a mystery. Unless I'm eating on the stream, you'll never find out.
he signed an NDA. They'll be able to talk about what he had for dinner soon. So
Yeah, this was water. This was tea.
Noodles, man shaking noodles, right?
It could have
What
been
about you,
noodles.
Dave?
It could have been something completely different.
I've got some stuff in Vermoose coming
What?
up. Yeah. Good little story in there.
Spedsyverse.studio. What?
Yeah.
Dave's on the cover.
There's 3. Yeah, I'm actually featured on the cover. Yeah. And my stuff is available in the ComX Shop and at the Owner Indie website. And that's about it. I'm still working on Dropship 15 story which will be the last story to go into my next issue of Amazing Tales. Hopefully that'll be available the end of April.
And
Okay.
Timefold just dropped on Owner Indie.
Oh, yes, Timefold.
Just
Yes.
search for Dave Dye or for Roger Stitson.
Yes. So go to Roger Stitson's.
Yeah, Roger. I got one myself just the other day.
Oh, right. Yep.
Can't wait to get it.
So
Have you got one yet,
that's
Quick?
available. Hey?
Has Quick got one yet?
Nah, I like to buy my stuff from Dave Dye in person, so I can
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Over to Neil. Mate.
Great. I'm on Instagram under Blanderama, like Futurama, but Blanderama. I have to staple these up, but I've got this one coming called Doing the Comics. And I've also got Mega Rage Roboto, but the print job's terrible. And I have to do something about it. It didn't turn out.
Oh,
so we have
what?
to fix it.
Oh, bugger.
I want one.
Yeah.
Duncan, buddy.
Hey.
Duncan.
Yeah.
Wait.
That way. There we go.
I'm pretty much
Been kidding.
everywhere. You like my last name's written there, and
Friend
you
of mine.
type that abomination in.
I'll boost you up
and
so I can
find
see
my
your
stuff.
full name.
Oh,
And your
it's-
full face.
I don't know. It's around. That's where I am. That's pretty much it. I'm sure you can. No one back bin Kitty. You could probably get it on the ComX Shop issue.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. And I'm in Presents 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are.
I am. Yeah. And if you want a free issue of Bin Kitty, you got to buy my cover of Presents 4. And if you can guess every album that I put on the cover, you get a free issue of Bin Kitty.
Oh, I forgot you're doing that. Nice.
Is
Yeah.
that Presents Noir or number 4?
You are, yeah.
It is Noir.
You are 4.
Noir. Yep.
Mm.
Many
Black and
album
white.
covers.
You got to name all of them.
Very
And
nice.
you get
too.
it free.
Sweet.
That's it.
Thanks, Duncan.
I'll also be at ComExpo, not this ComX.
different
ComExpo on Sunday in Burwood. If you're in the Melbourne area, me and Hayden Spiral and Gary Della will be there, and a whole host of other local creators. So come on in and buy some comics, you heard. All right.
Are you doing signings and photos and stuff like that, Rob? I'm asking
Yeah,
for the
$25 for a headshot, $30 for a full bust. If I get my bust out.
Oh, I've got a full bust.
Woo, I'm there.
How much
Oh, sorry. I got excited.
This is very
I'll have some crop tops with some underboob. They're $50.
All right.
There we go.
You're scaring
All right.
the customers off,
Damn it,
mate.
I'm $10 short. Okay.
you do private rooms. Asking for a friend.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell your friend, come on over. All right.
Well, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
That's it.
thank you.
And one last time.
Thanks,
Yeah, I
Rob.
was hoping I'd get an end of show thank you thingy.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for the constant meanness over the last whatever. It's not in my nature to. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But it doesn't make me feel so good being constant promo time. But
Apologize for it, Rob. It's not a
what you
problem.
gotta do. So I will go quiet in 20-something days. So until then, please bear with me. If you've already backed it, please don't unback it. I'll shut up soon. All right. So thank you very much. Does he have a voice, Nick?
That's it. It'll be your biggest scream, Dave Dye, and then we'll cut the broadcast.
Yes, well, thank you. We'll be back next week with more things to draw, more things to talk about. We'll be drinking root beers and creaming sodas. But until then, make sure you eat your prayers and say your vitamins and have a good week.
Go, Dave.
See you guys later.
Well, we drank, we drew, we talked nonsense. Now it's time to say goodbye. Don't cry, dry your eye, for there are many cool comics you can buy. ComX.shop is full of comics from a bunch of the creators you just watched. Amazing Tales by Dave Dye. The Devil's Toilet by Spedsy. ComX Presents featuring Ed Kearsley, Tony Manzi, Duncan Pranavicius, Peter Wilson, Lee Chalker, Zach George, and so much more. The list is longer than this outro. See you next Friday for more drinking and drawing. Alright Sizzle, press the button.